Hi, and welcome back to another Yin Yoga practice. Today we have a longer class in an advanced practice. And advanced in Yin means basically two things, mainly one. I would say one, exploring asanas that are a little bit more complex, which means involving more joints or more movements in the same joint. That is one way to see it. But mainly in Yin, when we talk about an advanced practice, we talk about holding poses for even longer. Usually, if you have been practicing with me for a while, you have noticed that we hold poses for 2 to 3 minutes, which is kind of like the average when we practice Yin. Today, we're going to be holding poses for 5 minutes. So actually, I wouldn't say that it's so advanced. It's more like intermediate, because when we come to advanced practices or when we are progressing in our practice, we can hold poses from 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. So today, let's try a little bit longer with 5 minutes. You may or you may not need a bolster, but just in case, have something with you. We will do a pose that I may ask you, totally optional if you want to do it more in a more supported way. Anyway, have it with you. Have a big pillow or something that can help you eventually. For now, let's find a comfortable seated position and closing the eyes. As usual, I'm going to be timing the asanas. So close your eyes for a moment. Hopefully you are in a place where you can be for an hour in the practice with no interruptions, in silence, trying to bring the attention inwards, away from any distraction, trying to go deeper into each posture, not only physically but mentally. You will notice that I will be giving you longer spaces of silence as well. Sometimes the biggest challenge in the practice of Yin Yoga is actually the silence, because it's when we get to be with ourselves. So use these moments to land on the mat, to place the intention in your heart of finding your way into the asanas and allowing the asanas to find their way into your body. Committing to stillness, knowing that at some point you may feel challenged, either physically or mentally, but you are stronger than you think you are. So try to be in that discomfort for a while. The only place for us to grow and to learn is to get out of the comfort zone. When we feel uncomfortable and unease, we have the opportunity to grow, to learn, to acknowledge. A few more moments connecting, letting go, being present here and now, letting go of expectations of everything that has happened till now. And very gently and softly blinking your eyes open. Good. We're gonna find our way to the first pose, which is caterpillar, a forward fold. We're going to allow the legs to be soft, and they will gently go wherever they feel like going. Your hands can be resting on the floor. Just be aware that we don't have the yang attitude of pulling ourselves forward or stopping us from keep going down. And also decide what you want to do with your head. As I always mention, the head is heavy. Sometimes that extra weight, that effect of traction can feel good. Sometimes can be a little too much. So observe where you want to place your head, and once you decide either if you want to drop your head or keep it aligned with the rest of the spine, just close your eyes. 5 minutes in caterpillar pose. Use this moment to observe the edges of your body. Usually we start the asana in that first edge, in that first place where the asana touches the body, and we just stay there. Allow the time and the gravity to show you the way to a deeper posture. This is how I actually fell in love with yin, holding a pose in silence and observing how my body was opening up without me consciously being involved. So I will give you this space to be in silence with your feelings, with your thoughts. I will invite you to come out of the pose in about 4 minutes. We have only 20 more seconds remaining in this forward fold. Today I will invite you to move even slower and gentler than we normally do. And we're gonna start coming out of the pose softly, mindfully, tenderly, and pausing Always remember to pause, acknowledge, observe. We are not rushing anywhere. The beauty of yin is that we learn how to slow down. Great. So we're moving to the next pose. Options for the next pose. We can stay in easy cross with your right leg in front. This is option number 1. And then you can come forward. Option number 2, you keep your left leg under, and then you bring your right leg on top. This is option number 2. Option number 3, we actually cross one leg in front of the other one, coming into shoelace. So we will put our right knee on top of the left one, as close as they will go. Your feet can also change. They can come close to your hips or maybe further away. So you have some variations, you have some options there to choose from. 5 minutes in shoelace in this on these legs. So again, we can fold forward. You can decide also to stay upright. That is totally up to you, or you come forward. If you come forward, we have options. This is the beauty of freedom, of life. You have options to choose from. You can keep the head aligned with the rest of the neck, or eventually you can drop the forehead on the knees and stay there for the remaining time of the pose. Choose whatever works for you in the legs, in the torso, in the head. And once you find the combination that works for you today, close your eyes, enjoy the silence, enjoy everything that is happening inside. Two more minutes. You find yourself wandering around, just come back to the breath. Observe how your pattern of breathing, the natural pattern of breathing, works in your body. Only 20 seconds left. And carefully, softly start bringing your torso up, right? Pausing for a moment. We are now going to undo the legs because actually this shape, we're going to take this shape to the next pose. What we're going to do is we're going to come over the legs. I'm going to leave the right leg in front as it is. We're going to start extending the left leg behind very gently, slowly, because we're moving the leg in the opposite direction. So we're gonna see if we can fit the whole body in the mat. There we go. Coming into sleeping swan. So what we do with the foot, I have said it in other classes. Decide if you want to have your foot close to you or a little bit more away. And once you have found the shape in your leg, we start coming all the way down to the floor. Options for your hands and your head. We can make a pillow with the hands and rest the forehead. Or you can keep going all the way down with your chest on the floor or your head on the floor. So choose any variation. Try to distribute your weight between both pelvises so we don't drop the weight to one side, which is quite common to have in this pose. Make sure that your knee is happy in this pose. Maybe a little discomfort is fine, but definitely not pain. If you are joining me in this intermediate/advanced practice, probably it's because you have been practicing yin for a while. So you already know that we welcome the discomfort but not the pain. If you feel that it's too much for your knee at any moment, you can also bring your torso a little higher and be on your forearms. Keep your legs, your glutes, your hips soft and relaxed. And remember, if the right hip, the right glute is not all the way down to the floor, it's okay. It's an asymmetrical pose. We're doing different things in both hips. And because we already know that we have tight hips, all of us, most likely your hips won't make it to the floor. Nothing is going to happen. You are not going to injure your knee only because your hip is up in the air. This is the space that we have to keep moving deeper into the pose. If we block this space, then we will block the opportunity to keep going deeper into the pose. Unless you have an injury in your knee or in your hip, then consciously you will like to stop the effect of the gravity in that area by placing a block under you. Good, let's come back to this quiet space. We have about 2.5 minutes to go. So perhaps closing your eyes and going back to that yummy space of silence.
Only a few more seconds before we start moving out of the pose. If by any chance you're feeling any numbness or some needles, kind of like weird sensation, remember that we are stopping, that we are compressing certain areas that restricts the normal circulation of blood. So it's quite normal to feel your foot numb. I can feel mine, so I'm pretty sure you're feeling yours too, probably, so don't worry about it. Good. So we're gonna come up. We're gonna start shifting our body weight to the right. We're gonna keep the right leg as it is. We're gonna bring the left knee closer to the right foot. We're gonna come into this twist that we know as deer pose. So I'm just going to face the camera so you're looking, you understand what I'm saying here. Let me just stop the time. So this is where we can either decide to use the bolster to do it in a more supportive way, or we can not use the bolster. So as your right leg is in front, your left leg is behind, your left bum is going to come off the floor, and we're going to start twisting towards the right, so we can go all the way down and again make a pillow with our hands and just rest here. This is options if you want to do it like this, or if you don't have a prop next to you, or you can decide to have a bolster and to land the center of your torso and your ear on the bolster. So if you're doing that, options as well with your ear. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can keep the rotation of your spine all the way to the cervical spine and place your left ear on the bolster. Otherwise, you can place the right ear on the bolster. Find the variation that works for you. I always give you options, so choose what works for you. Today, I'm going to do it in a more supported way. 5 minutes in this twist. It's one of my favorite twists of all the poses that we have available in Yin. Close your eyes. Take a few moments to land in the pose. As I said, you may feel some numbness in your right leg, especially because we have had the right knee flexed for a while now. It's okay. We will extend the leg soon and that numbness will go away. You have a few more seconds remaining. Hope you haven't fallen asleep yet. Especially if you have a bolster, sometimes that may happen. That's why we try to avoid to have too many supported poses in yin, because we want to continue stressing the tissues. But today, in the middle of this intermediate advanced flow, why not? Good. Start coming back up, because guess what? We have another side to go. So we're going to let go of the bolster if you were using one, or a pillow. Before shifting to the other leg, let's find a more symmetrical, neutral position. So we're going to open our legs. Let me just be in the front. There you go. So let's open our legs as wide as they will go. It's not a split, so you don't have to go 180 degrees or anything like that. This dragonfly, and then start coming all the way forward. Your toes, your knees will drop in. Walk your hands forward. Just allow your spine to round. Again, the palms can be facing up, so we don't stop us from keep going down or pulling us forward. Or you can keep them facing down, just keep them soft. Legs relax. Torso, arms, neck and head soft and heavy. After all that flexion that we did in the knee joint, is important to extend. This will allow the blood circulation to come back to a more natural, normal flow. So I'm pretty sure your foot is feeling a little better. Mine is back to normal. So that's why I always tell my students in the teacher training, don't worry if you feel numbness somewhere. It's quite common to have that sensation because, as I said, we are restricting movement of prana, of blood, of oxygen, temporary. It's a temporary compression that we're doing there. So once we release the pose, and again, all the blood, the water, the oxygen, the prana rush back into that area. This is what we actually want. That's what we aim in the yin practice, in this yin way of practicing asanas. We want to stress some areas, so when we release them from that stress, we get fresh new nutrients, physical and energetic nutrients. I don't know you, but in these poses, I love how my body starts feeling heavier and heavier. That's why I also like to practice holding the poses for a bit longer than we normally do, because I do believe, or at least is my personal experience, that when we spend more time in the pose, it's easier to see how we move from one edge to the next one. How gently the body starts opening up, and the mind learns how to be quiet and calm. with caution. Start walking your hands back to bring your torso upright. Finding ourselves back in the center. Let me pause here. And now we're moving to the other side. So we're gonna start bending the left knee. Remember that we have options for this side as well. So we have the option of being in easy cross now with the left leg in front. This is option 1. Option 2, to keep your right leg under and your left leg on top. That is option 2. And option 3, finding shoelace. Let me just go to this side. So for shoelace, we keep the right knee bent and then we bring the left knee on top. Sometimes this helps to get into the pose. There you go. And your feet actually can be closer to your hips or farther away. Once you find your shape with your legs, we come into the forward fold. So we start coming all the way to the front, keeping your head aligned or dropping it down. Totally up to you. Closing your eyes. 5 minutes in shoelace on your left leg, or easy cross or square, any variation that you have chosen for your legs. One more minute. And carefully walk your hands towards you. Coming back to a straight spine. And we're going to leave the left leg as it is. We're going to start moving the right leg behind us, coming into this sleeping swan. So observe how this leg feels. Maybe feels a little bit different than the right one. So place your knee either closer to the center or away. And once you have found this, what is happening with your leg, then we start moving to the floor. Again, you can extend your arms all the way to the front, or you can come into the forearms or the hands. 5 minutes. Find the variation that works for you to be in a stillness for the entire time of the pose. Feeling your hips heavy and soft, melting down on the floor. Keeping both hips, both pelvis aligned so we don't shift the body weight to either side. Observe how the time that we spend in the pose maybe takes you deeper, either in your mind or in your body. Sometimes I really have to remember to look at the timer because I'm totally gone in this yin zone, going deeper into my mind. I think it's the hardest part of practicing the class that you're teaching, trying to be conscious and aware of the external things. But I hope you are letting go and enjoying being with yourself. I'm gonna start making our way out. So move very gently. I'm gonna start shifting the body weight to the left. We have the deer pose coming. So for deer pose, we keep the left foot as it is. We bring the right knee in. And again, remember that we have the option to twist and stay up here, go all the way down, resting on our forearms or resting our head on our hands, or using the bolster. Today, I decided to use the bolster. Doing this in a more supportive way. So if you are doing the same that I'm doing and you want to keep that torsion that we're having from the thoracic spine all the way up to the cervical spine, you can place your right ear on the bolster. So twist, find a way. 5 minutes in this twist. Let me just start over. There we go. Only a few more minutes here. A few more seconds, not minutes. And very mindfully start making your way back up using your hands as support. Stopping in the center as usual, letting go of the prop. And maybe for the next pose, we can actually use the same prop. You may need it, you may not need it. It's a quite complex, challenging pose. Let's see how it goes. I will guide you. It's called snail pose. We won't hold it for too long because I know that it can be quite hard for some of us. So we're gonna extend the legs to the front. It's a posture that has a lot of yang elements because it's an inversion when we're holding the weight on the shoulders. So let's see how it goes. We're gonna bring our back on the floor. This is the last pose before coming into Shavasana. And since we have the bolster, maybe you will use it to land your feet on the bolster if your feet don't make it all the way down to the floor. So let's do this together. I'm timing it now. So we're gonna bring the legs up, all the way up. And yes, we need to use some strength of the core and your hands to keep moving your legs back. Here, if your legs don't make it to the floor, this is when you will land your feet on the bolster. If you don't need it, then you can land your see if I don't drop it out of the shala here. So you can stay here with your palms facing down and your legs are extend. Quite soft, but as I said, has some yang elements. Hopefully you're following my voice and not moving your head. You have your weight on your shoulders. You can also bend your knees and drop the knees to the floor if you want. So feet on the bolster, feet on the floor, or knees down to the floor. Choose a variation that works for you. This is a very deep forward fold as well. We are lengthening from our legs, glutes, the entire back, including the upper back and the neck, keeping the body weight on the shoulders. So please avoid moving your head around. There's nothing to see. I'm in exactly the same position I was a minute ago. You have about 45 seconds. Very extremely carefully. You can bend your knees and using your core strength, you're gonna start slowly lowering down your back, vertebrae by vertebrae. I'm gonna hug the knees to the chest. And to finish the practice today, we can finish in pentacle. I suppose that I actually enjoy a lot as option 2 Shavasana. So you can open your legs much wider than the mat and your palms facing up. Closing your eyes. Bringing your arms, your hands aligned with the shoulders, perhaps a little higher. Making yourself like a star shape. Absorbing everything that we have done in the practice. Melting down, feeling your body heavy, relaxed, soft. Feeling your mind calm and steady. If you have time, you can stay here for a bit longer. Otherwise, we can start moving our feet and our hands, bringing our legs closer together, extending the arms above the head, stretching and lengthening the body. Bending the knees and moving to one side, either side, just to help us to come back up to a seated position. Taking your time to move, your time to come out of the mat. Hopefully stay here for a while. Kind of like reorganizing yourself to recompose your energy. We have been in this yin state for about an hour, so your joints are vulnerable, your mind is soft and gone in this yin state. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm definitely in the yin moon right now, so I'm gonna take some time, drink some water, drink a tea. Keep yourself hydrated. A lot of things are moving inside, and we want to help our tissues to get that all that benefits of the poses that we just did today. So thank you
Thank you a lot for being with me, and I will see you back here very soon. Thank you so much for practicing with me. If you like this class, please let me know by clicking the like button and commenting below this video, and I will reply to your questions and your comments. Joseph Pilates once said, "You are as young as your spine is flexible. If you're stiff at 30, you're old. If you're flexible at 60, you're young." Unfortunately, nowadays we spend a lot of time in front of a screen, and a lot of people are developing bad postures and pain in their back. To help you preventing and overcoming back-related issues, I have created the Back Pain Relief Program. If you want to learn about your spine, how to practice poses in an effective way, and how to get and maintain a healthy spine, this program is for you. For more information and to register in this program, click the first link below this video, and I hope to see you in this program very soon.